Tom Cruise is 62, but his body looks 35. It's not luck or strictly genetics. It's 5 daily habits that melt fat, repair inflammation, and keep aging in reverse. If you're stuck with stubborn belly fat, low energy, and nothing's working, this will flip the switch. I'll be sharing with you right now Tom Cruise's 5 daily habits to burn fat and look younger. Let's start with his first daily habit. Tom Cruise has a dynamic morning mobility habit. Cruise doesn't hit snooze, he hits the mat. Every morning, Tom Cruise starts his day with 10 minutes of dynamic mobility. He practices spinal rotations, hip circles, shoulder rolls, arm swings, and leg kicks. Here's why this works. Dynamic stretching wakes up the nervous system, boosts circulation, and keeps joints fluid and pain-free. It's especially effective as we age, when stiffness creeps in and leads to injuries and inflammation. This routine tells your body it's time to move like a 35-year-old. Here's how you can do this as well each morning. Right after waking up, spend 5 to 10 minutes doing the following: torso twists, hip openers, arm circles, and cat-cow stretches. And here's a bonus tip for you. If you add nasal breaths and get some sunlight while you do this, you're going to anchor in your circadian rhythm and set yourself up for a successful, healthy day. Habit number 2 of Tom Cruise is high-intensity interval training. Tom Cruise skips the treadmill marathons, and he trains smarter, not longer. Tom Cruise incorporates 20-minute HIIT sessions 3 times a week. His routine is the following: 30 seconds of intense work, intense effort, followed by 30 seconds of rest. The exercises that he uses, and you could use as well, are sprinting, jumping lunges, burpees, swimming, and bike intervals. Here's why this works so effectively. HIIT training boosts mitochondrial density. That's really important for fat loss, anti-aging, and longevity, because the mitochondria that are within every single one of your cells help you produce energy, helps you burn fat, helps you feel good and look great. By positively stressing it with a HIIT workout, it creates something called mitochondrial biogenesis, mitochondrial fitness, where good mitochondria and healthy mitochondria get healthier, and bad mitochondria don't adapt. Your body gets rid of it. So it's really, really effective. Plus, this routine also triggers EPOC, which stands for excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, which simply means you continue to burn fat and burn calories for hours after the workout is done. Yeah, when you're sitting on the couch, sitting on your chair, behind your desk working, you're still burning extra calories because of the EPOC effect from HIIT training. Pretty clever. This helps to torch belly fat in less time than traditional cardio, like jogging and running and going on a treadmill. None of that's necessary. It also preserves lean muscle mass, which is one of the keys to anti-aging. Fun fact here, a 62-year-old doing HIIT training regularly has the VO2 max of someone who's 20 to 30 years younger. VO2 max is one of the most important markers to track for longevity. The higher your VO2 max, the more oxygen your body could use when you're really exerting yourself. And this is a key predictor for longevity, lifespan, and health span. So you could try this routine as well. 3 times a week, you want to do the following: 20-second all-out sprint, 40-second walking and recovering. Do that for 5 to 10 rounds. Followed up by 15 minutes of either kettlebell swings, burpees, or jump squats for a total of 25 minutes. Now here's the habit number 3 of Tom Cruise. He follows a low-calorie, high-protein-rich diet. Discipline is Tom Cruise's superpower, especially in the kitchen. So he eats around 1,200 calories per day. And while I personally would not recommend that long-term, the fact that he eats a high-protein diet helps him feel full and satiated, so he doesn't feel hunger, he doesn't have cravings, and he's not eating potato chips and cookies. His diet is focused mainly on grilled chicken, white fish, egg whites, low-starch vegetables, and minimal carbs and sugar. The lower calories means less oxidative stress, less inflammation, and we know the studies show caloric restriction does extend your lifespan. The high protein helps to increase satiety, so he's not snacking in between meals or eating carbohydrates, It helps preserve his lean muscle mass and build that lean muscle mass from the workouts. And there's also a thermic effect of food from the protein, meaning it raises your body temperature, or I should say your metabolic rate, to burn a little bit more calories after you consume the protein. That's why you've heard the term meat sweats before. That's where it came from. And he eats low carb, which is low insulin, which keeps your blood sugar stable. Not just important for fat loss, but also important for anti-aging. One of the fastest ways you could age yourself is to have high levels of blood sugar. Tom Cruise knows this, and he eats low carb to keep his blood sugar levels stable and to control his insulin levels. Now, just note, this low-calorie approach works for Tom Cruise and his goals and his body type, but not everyone needs to go that low or stay that low. I personally recommend in my latest book, Metabolic Freedom, having some days where you're fasting and maybe being low-carb, low-calorie, but then having some flex and feast days to remind the body that it's not starving and to ramp up the metabolism. So key takeaways: start your meals with protein first, limit processed carbs, sugar, and seed oils, use intermittent fasting to be able to lower your caloric intake, and get your protein from pasture-raised eggs, grass-fed beef, wild-caught fish, and bone broth. Those are 4 of my favorite options. Habit number 4 of Tom Cruise. He has an advanced skincare and recovery technique. His skin looks younger than guys half his age, and recovery is why. Tom Cruise devotes 30 to 45 minutes per day to skincare and recovery. He starts off by doing ice water facials, where he simply fills a bowl with cold water and ice cubes. He submerges his face into the cold water with ice cubes for 10 to 20 seconds at a time, and he repeats that a few times, and then he gently pats his face dry with a towel. Here's why this works. It reduces puffiness and inflammation. Cold therapy stimulates collagen production, tightens pores, and reduces puffiness. You see, cold water constricts blood vessels, which can reduce swelling and under-eye bags. It also tightens pores by causing pores to temporarily shrink, giving skin a smoother appearance. It boosts circulation. After a cold shock, blood rushes back to the surface and gives the skin a natural glow. It calms redness, especially helpful for irritated or inflamed skin. It reduces acne and oily skin as well. And it's also great to do in the morning to wake you up and get started with your day, or even when you're traveling and you want to help with jet lag. He also uses cleanser, toner, moisturizer routine. He does cryotherapy. You could do cryotherapy, you could do a cold plunge, you could take a cold bath. These are all very similar. And he does hyperbaric oxygen therapy, which is pressurized oxygen. You might want to find a clinic that has this machine called HBOT. The 5th habit that Tom Cruise practices to look and feel so young, he does diverse physical activities. Movement isn't a chore for Cruise, it's an adventure. He finds ways to get in movement, activity, to burn calories, build muscle, with play and fun. Outside of the structured workouts he does that we spoke about, Cruise stays active with the following routines: rock climbing, which my fiance loves to do, sea kayaking, hiking, fencing, motorcycling, and of course his stunt work for his movies. Here's why this works. Engaging in play and challenging-based activities enhances cognitive function, coordination, agility, and mobility. And it mentally helps you feel young and passionate about what you're doing. Boredom kills motivation. Variety keeps you in the game. So once a week, at least once a week, do something unstructured. Take a dance class, paddleboard, hike barefoot, play pickleball or tennis. For me, it's basketball with my buddies here in Miami Beach every Sunday. Movement should feel like joy, not punishment. Now, I'm going to address some of the questions you submitted on this lesson here today. Before I do, I want to remind you that my latest book, Metabolic Freedom, it's a New York Times bestseller. It's available all over the world right now, and we're giving away an entire course on the metabolism for free for anybody who buys the book today. You'll get 12 lessons on the metabolism, exclusive interviews with some of the best fat loss experts in the world. That's a $1,000 course you'll get for free if you scan the QR code on the screen or go to metabolicfreedombook.com. You'll see different retailers to buy the book. It's available on hardcover, Kindle, Audible, and Spotify. I narrated those myself. And if you go to metabolicfreedombook.com, you can get the free course with the book today. And I'm going to be doing a speaking tour on Metabolic Freedom starting in August. So we have 5 or 6 events I'm speaking at across the U.S. and also Saudi Arabia this year. So if you go to benazadi.com/events, I'd love to see you at one of those events. give you a hug, hang out with you, and we're doing a lot of book signings as well, so you could get a signed copy of Metabolic Freedom. So check out my upcoming speaking tour over at benazadi.com/events. We'll drop that link down below. Now, let's get to your questions. What if I don't have time for a full mobility routine? Can I just do a few moves? Yeah, look, anything will help. Arm circles are very easy to do. Maybe doing some leg swings, even if it's just a minute, you're going to benefit. The goal is to be consistent and do it every day, even when you're traveling and even when you don't feel like it. Should I do the dynamic stretching before or after a workout, or both? For sure, before. And if you want to throw in some dynamic stretching after the workout, that's just bonus points. But it's always better to do dynamic stretching before a workout, not static. Static stretching is when you bend down and touch your toes for 30 seconds and hold that. You don't necessarily want to do static stretching, especially before a workout. You want dynamic stretching like arm circles or leg swings. It's movement stretches that you want to do. What are the best mobility moves for someone with lower back pain or tight hips? This is me. If you know my story in the past, my back has been a challenge for me, and thank God it has been a lot better lately. But for me, it was a matter of weak glutes. So as I strengthened my glutes, my lower back felt a lot better and my hips felt a lot better. So glute bridges were helpful for me. Seated squats, where I would sit down on a chair, stand up, and really squeeze my glutes, and just activating my core and my glutes as I walk and be conscious of that really helped as well. Can older adults or beginners safely do HIIT, or should they modify it? Depending on what your activity level is, you always want to modify it. You don't want to hurt yourself. Start low and slow. So it's a good idea to hire a personal trainer or a fitness coach. There's a great YouTube channel that you might want to check out from Giancarlo Anzalati. He's got a lot of great information on fitness and workouts. And he also works with people virtually, so you might want to hire him. His YouTube channel is Giancarlo Anzalati. I'll drop a link for it in the notes down below so you can check him out. Is doing HIIT every day too much? How do I balance HIIT with strength training or walking? I wouldn't do it every day. 3 times a week is a great routine. If you want to add strength training with the HIIT, that's great. But it really depends on how well you're recovering. Your sleep, your heart rate variability, your resting heart rate. So if you're not tracking that, I would track it. Now, I don't know if Tom Cruise tracks all of that, but I would put money that he does track all those metrics to see when he should push himself or not. So you could use something like a Whoop band that I'm testing right now. You can see it for those watching on YouTube. I'll put a link for that down below, or even an Oura ring, which I don't have on right now because mine broke, but an Oura ring could also be something you use to track, or Apple Watch, Fitbit. I'll drop links for all of those down below. What's better for fat loss, HIIT or steady state cardio if I could only do one? That's a tough one. If you could only do one, I would go with the HIIT because of the extra calories you're going to burn after the HIIT workout. Now, steady state cardio, I'm not a fan of like jogging or long runs, but walking every day is beneficial. If you could get 7,000 to 10,000 steps per day, that's going to be very beneficial for fat loss. Is 12,000 calories per day safe for most people, or is that too low? Depends on how long you do it. I would say for most people, doing it for long term, not a good idea. Maybe your routine would be Monday through Friday, you're staying 1,200 calories or less. Saturday or Sunday, you're feasting on healthy foods. That would be a good routine. We don't want to stick with low calorie long term because the metabolism will slow down and adapt to the energy coming in. So by doing it on the weekdays and having some flexibility on the weekends where you feast it up and increase your caloric load, it prevents that shutdown or slowdown in the metabolism. How often should I do cryotherapy or cold plunges to see real anti-aging benefits? I would recommend accumulating 11 minutes total per week of cold therapy, but start low and slow. If you've never done cold therapy, start with 15 seconds and then 30 seconds and build your way up to getting about 11 minutes total per week. I personally have my own plunge. You can see here the Keto Camp plunge. I'll drop a link and a code for you to get. It's plunge.com with the coupon code KetoCamp. But if you wanted to get that plunge, you could get it as well. There you have it. That's the routine that Tom Cruise follows to stay young, look young. Share this with somebody you know. Share it on social media. If you're listening on the podcast, leave it a rating and a review. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And if you're interested to learn more about targeting belly fat and some of the reasons why you can't burn belly fat and some creative ways to tap into stored fat for energy, especially the fat around your stomach and love handles, I have a simple 14-day protocol that if you follow, you'll burn a ton of belly fat. Here's a clip from that lesson, then click the video on the screen and I'll see you in that next lesson. I'll be sharing with you a simple 7-step protocol that you will follow, and in 14 days, you will melt stubborn fat. It works whether you are brand new to trying to lose weight, you've hit a plateau, you've tried all these different diets and calories in versus calories out approach. All of these 7 steps are linked to each other. You have to